Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. The arena is back. I know you guys have been waiting forever. So this is the first arena video in a long time. Now, what better topic than Shawn Ray versus Dexter Jackson? In case you've been living under a rock, um, Shawn Ray went on to say, obviously, that this era's bodybuilders wouldn't even place, high enough in the '90s lineup. And of course, Dexter Jackson, went on Instagram and, he also said in an interview himself that he would smoke Shawn Ray. And this gets me excited because I grew up, watching these guys, when I was a kid. If you guys know my story, like I love bodybuilding ever since I was a kid. So I grew up seeing Shawn Ray. Dexter Jackson has done like 30 million shows, so he's always been there. So it was a great, great opportunity for me to put these two side by side and decide, what would have happened. Because these are debates that me and my friends have all the time, who would have won between this era and that era. So let's go ahead and compare the physiques using, pretty objective criteria. All right, let's get straight to it. So here's the post that Dexter Jackson put up. But again, guys, I love both of these guys. So this was actually fun to, fun to read. So debate time, Shawn Ray said he'll beat me in my prime. I'm the same weight as him in his photos. My third year in the pros, haven't reached my prime yet. Yeah, I'd be the judge. And we about to be. I know we all fans, but put that shit aside, blah, 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 blah. Since he runs his mouth so much, I thought I'd let y'all judge. I always tell him he's only won two shows in his 13-year career. That's kind of fucked up, Dexter. Don't compare me to you if you never won the Olympia. So this is some. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not taking it that seriously. But you gotta understand, bodybuilding egos are gonna run wild. So this pumped me up. I was like, you know what? I know you guys voted for arena videos on the 1960s, 1970s bodybuilders, but growing up admiring these guys and watching them every single time, I definitely had to make a video on this. So let's see, right? Let's compare them. Front relax. And again, I'm gonna let you guys know right now, I'm biased, right? I'm biased towards Dexter. Again, I grew up watching Shawn Ray and all that, but I never really liked his character, right? Everyone knows, he has a lot of character flaws. Dexter was almost always the most humble guy, but even though I'm biased towards Dexter, I gotta stay objective. So look at the poses here. I'm literally giving it X again. Shawn Ray, in my opinion, is the challenger here because he's the one that started the shit talking. So we comparing Shawn Ray, and I'm using different shows. It's not all from the same show, to make it fair. And every X is the body part that Shawn Ray loses at. If there's no X, that means he's winning. All right. So let's see. Front relax. Shawn Ray is the clear winner, right? And you gotta understand, guys. Dexter has 20 pounds, about 20 pounds of muscle on Shawn Ray, even though they're about the same height, about 5'6", 5'7", right? So you got to put that into consideration. So first, when you look at the front relax, traps and delts, that's always gonna go to Dexter. Always. I mean, he just dwarfs them when it comes to traps and delts. Chest. The reason why I give it to Shawn Ray here is because again, Dexter has 20 pounds of muscle on him, yet you don't really see his chest pop out. To me, if you come up 20 pounds heavier than someone, you better dwarf him on every single muscle. Whereas here, my eyes kind of go, towards Shawn a little bit. So the only body parts that Shawn loses in his balls is traps, delts, lats. Again, Shawn has nice low insertions, but believe it or not, Dexter's high insertions, actually make his lats look wider. Not to mention the fact that he's also 20 pounds bigger. So lats definitely go to Dexter. Abs, no one is gonna come close to Shawn. I feel like Shawn is such an underrated bodybuilder. No one is gonna come close to Shawn when it comes to midsection. So abs and serratus, he definitely takes that. Forearms, quads, and calves. He also takes that. Also, you gotta keep in mind, Shawn is gonna destroy Dexter when it comes to lower body, especially calves, right? Calves, calves, calves. That is Dexter's weakest point. And again, I'm just being objective. I love Dexter, but I gotta keep it real. So front relax, Shawn wins that pause mainly because of his midsection and his lower body. And again, you gotta understand that conditioning. Shawn used to bring the epic conditioning. Again, I know, Dexter's known, and again, there's a reason why he's called the Blade, right? He's known for his conditioning, he's known for being sharp. But again, Shawn was just a master at that. That's what he was known for. When everyone was playing the mass game, he would just come in shredded and conditioned as fuck. So yeah, front relax definitely goes to Shawn. Next, front lat spread, believe it or not, also goes to Shawn. I mean, look, where are your eyes going? Of course, traps and delts, he's losing that to Dexter. I'm going to say this a million times, but I'm going to give him chest, because again, he's 20 pounds smaller than Dexter at the same height roughly, but yet you don't really see that, that huge difference in chest. So that definitely has to go to Shawn. His lats look better here. His abs, again, look better. Serratus, his biceps, his triceps look better here, which is rare because Dexter actually has enormous arms. But in this pose, Shawn takes the cake, again, his quads just look phenomenal. I mean, look at that teardrop. Jesus. Calves, again, he's always going to see calves. So, yeah, front lat spread goes to Shawn. Front double biceps goes to Dexter, right? And then you guys can clearly see the difference. Look at his fucking arms. Again, he wins straps and delts. He wins arms. And obviously he wins quads here. I mean, that quad sweep is just blowing, Shawn out of the water. Obviously, Shawn has that, that Shawn Ray conditioning. But he just loses too many body parts here to Dexter. Next, ab and thigh. That also goes to Shawn. I was surprised. I mean, guys, just look at this. I don't even have to go into detail. Just look at the difference. Chest. He went. Again, the reason why I made him lose on chest and lats is simply because again, you don't really see that much of a difference. But Dexter is 20 pounds heavier in his palm, so you definitely got to give that to Dexter. But apart from that, abs and serratus goes to Shawn Ray all day, as well as quads and calves. Most muscular, and I actually split that up into two. Most muscular number one, most muscular number two. And again, guys, I was surprised. Like I said, I was biased towards Dexter, so I was actually surprised at how many poses Shawn won. Granted, I'm putting 10 poses here, not just the 8 mandatory. So Shawn definitely wins this one. I mean, it's just clear. Obviously, he loses straps and delts to Dexter. It's gonna be very hard to beat Dexter at traps and delts unless you feel he for some shit. But he wins chess. I mean, look at the chess, right? Look at that detail. He wins forearms. The vascularity is there, razor sharp skin, which is amazing because that's what Dexter's known for. It's very hard to beat Dexter when it comes to conditioning. But Shawn was just a fucking beast, guys. I'm getting so many flashbacks just watching this. So yeah, quads, calves, of course. He definitely wins this pose. Most muscular number two. Again, I actually thought Dexter was going to win this one until I put the pictures side by side. Shawn, this year, in that specific year, definitely takes the cake. For once, his traps look better. This is actually the only pose where his traps look better than Dexter. Because for some reason, again, you could clearly see Dexter's traps are popping out, but they're kind of weird, man. All round and just abnormal looking. So, and also look at that neck. Look at that Shawn Ray neck, man. Insane. So he definitely wins traps in that pose. He wins chest. He wins obviously forearms, quads, and calves. I mean, just look at the look at the difference in calves. This is unreal. That's definitely Dexter's weak point. Um, again, the reason why I gave him quads is because yes, obviously Dexter has bigger quads here, but look at the separation, the feathers, and the detail in Shawn Ray's quads. In fucking insane. Yeah, I was surprised that he actually won that pose. Next, side triceps also goes to Shawn. Again, he loses traps to Dexter. He loses delts, but definitely got to give him chest. Look at the detail in his chest. Triceps, I had to give that to Dexter. He just has medial triceps. Plus, again, he's actually bigger. The reason why Shawn looks bigger here is obviously two pictures, the angle. The one on the left is a lot closer. But other than that, he wins midsection. Shawn had unbelievable abs. He wins quads, hamstrings, and of course calves. Side chest. This one, Dexter actually takes it. Dexter takes it. Traps, delts, arms. You're not coming close to Dexter's arms, hamstrings. And Ray takes calves, quads, and obviously chest. Last spread. Things are about to get real now because now we're looking at how shows are won, and everyone who watches all the Mr. Olympias, I never missed a single one, and everybody knows shows are one from the back. Shows are one from the back. It's the same old cliche. And this picture illustrates the point. Dexter clearly takes this, and I'll show you exactly why. Delts, right? And I'm mentioning all the body parts that you can actually see from the back. You can still see delts, right? So he wins delts. Dexter takes biceps and triceps all day. He takes traps. I mean, just look at the difference in trap thickness. Traps and rhomboids, just unreal. He takes obviously erectors. You can see his erectors popping out a little bit. And he obviously takes quads. You can actually see his quad sweep from the rear, you know, and obviously glutes. Now let's look at the body parts that, and obviously Dexter also takes lats. I mean, just look at the difference, you know. Even with the high insertions, his lats are just out of this world compared to Shawn. Now Shawn takes forearms, of course. He takes his Christmas tree, right? His Christmas tree is way. I mean, just look down there. It's way better than Dexter's, and he obviously takes calves, you know, night and day, and hamstrings. So, but this pause definitely goes to Dexter, mainly because of the arms and the back thickness. Just look at that thickness. You understand, guys? If your back is not thick, the best way to expose that is in this pose right here. The real last spread will really expose a weak back, right? Just because of the nature of the pose. So, for someone's rhomboids and mid traps to stick out during the real last spread, that's how you know you have an insane mid-back development. Back double biceps, the final and most important pause. That's the most important pause. That's literally where most shows are won or lost. So let's see. Dexter takes this one. I mean, again, just like the other pause, right? He takes delts. He has bigger shoulders, real delts, bigger arms, so biceps, triceps, better forearms here, better rhomboids. You know, they're just a lot thicker. Better lats. You know, in fact, Ray's lats are non-existent in this pose. Again, his quad sweep, his glutes. The only body parts that Ray wins is again his infraspinatus, teres major minor, his Christmas tree. You got to give him that. I mean, he was competing against Dorian, so you know you had to have that. He actually has better erectors here somehow, and obviously the calves that you don't have to see here. He's always going to win the calves. So yeah, Dexter wins this one. So that's it, guys. Surprisingly, Shawn won. I mean, 6 out of the 4 poses were dominated by Shawn, which blew my mind because I actually went into this hoping that Dexter would win, just because I just like Dexter better. You know, I just got to be upfront with that. But you know, again, using objective criteria, you know, looking at the body part per body part, combination of size and conditioning, I'm actually surprised. You know, Shawn actually won 6 out of 4. Now again, guys, you know, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Especially if you're an IFBB enthusiast and you've been keeping up with this for years. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think would have won? You know, Ray in his prime versus Dexter in his prime. Now again, you can argue what year was, you know, Ray at his best. Some say 94, some say 96. I personally think he looked a lot better when he started finally trying to play the mass game. So around his later years. But it was about too late by then, you know, because Ronnie was, you know, coming in along with Flex and just, you know, knocking everyone out of the water. But I really feel that if Ray had, you know, if Shawn Ray had started the mass game a lot earlier, you know, without sacrificing conditioning, of course, if he had came in at least 10 pounds heavier, he would have won at least one Mr. Olympia. If anything, he should have won at least one Olympia, period. You know, like everyone knows the 94 Olympia, Shawn definitely won that, you know, and trust me, I love Dorian. He's higher in my top 10 list, favorite bodybuilders of all time than Shawn is. But you got to be honest, you know, the 94 Olympia, you know, Shawn definitely should have won that. But apart from that, I feel like if Shawn had came 10 pounds heavier, maybe 15, you know, and kept some of his trademark conditioning, he would have won at least 1 or 2 Olympias. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think and who you want to see in the next episode of The Arena. I'm going to try to make maybe one every week or so. Like the button, subscribe and hit the bell. Buy my ebook and training program on the website. It's an all-in-one hypertrophy guide, meal plan, macro guide, nutrition guide. So check out the site, grab it, use the 40% off code, Nucleus Overload.